Good morning. This is Daily Hebrew Declarations with Daniel Jedediah Cook, and I'm reading the declaration for today, January the 5th, 2021. The three Hebrew letters we're honoring today are Mem, He, and Shin. Along with those three living letters, we're also honoring the Spirit of understanding, the Spirit of the Lord, the Spirit of might, and we also want to honor Pastor Trey Wright from here at the Gates of Zion in Mobile, Alabama. The declaration today reads this: the depths of the heart pegged into the depths of the earth, where the spirit of wisdom and Mem go hand in hand from the depths of the Father Yahweh. The Creator Yahweh, arcing his breath to make manifest his delight, framing what he has spoken, a place of action where the offspark of Yahweh is where we are all one together in each other and in him. That's a beautiful expression of John 17. I love today's declaration, but I do want to talk about a little bit first some other things that as to why we've changed the daily Hebrew declarations a little bit. This year, we have been doing over the past several years, we've been going through Aleph to Lamed, because Michelle takes the day of the month, or the number of the month, I guess I should say, and then applies that to the number of the letter of the Hebrew Aleph Beit. And we look at those in the sense of being 1 through 22 or 1 through 23, if you include the living letter Ga. And so that would mean that we would go from Aleph to Lamed, which Aleph would be the first month. That would be right now. 12th month, or December, would be Lamed. But we both felt that it was time to add even more, because there was a whole nother half of the alphabet that was still wanting to be heard. And so I felt Holy Ghost prompt me to ask, and Michelle and I sat down and talked about it. So this year we've started something different in that we're starting with Mem, which is going to be the first letter after those 12. And then go all the way through to the Shin Gadol in December of this next year. So I believe that this adds an even greater depth to the letters, and it spreads the letters out over a 2-year period and gives us a chance to really dig into each one. So I hope you guys enjoy the new format, because it is a little bit new for us as well. But I believe, will really allow the other letters to begin to hear. Now, today's declaration really has a great part of this, because it talks about the depths of the heart of Yahweh being pegged into the depths of the earth, where the spirit of wisdom and Mem go hand in hand from the depths of the Father himself, from the depths from Father Yahweh himself. So we talk a lot about arcing. And we talk about a lot about the two places where you have to have two things in order to be able to arc. You've got the Father Yahweh, and you've got us. You've got Ruach HaKodesh. You have our soul and our spirit man. And there's an arcing back and forth. We arc with one another as we get together and we begin to share with one another. And we begin to share the spirit of Yahweh that's inside of each one of us. You know, because I was asked a question over the last couple of days, and the question was basically, well, how can Mem mean more than just water? Well, Mem can mean a lot of different things, particularly if we begin to look at it from a scriptural sense, or even from the sense of what water does, what water can do. See, one of the things about the Hebrew Aleph Beit, and one thing about the pictorial language of Hebrew, is that it allows you to see beyond what just is right in front of you. So a very simple and basic meaning of Mem could be water, but it could also be what water causes to happen. Just like water over rock over a long period of time will begin to cut into that rock, and it will begin to change it and form it and modify it. So, you know, we think about the fact that Yahweh says that we are like clay in the hands of the potter, being formed. Well, in the same breath, his word does the same thing with us. It begins to shape us, to modify us, to allow the things that do not belong to be taken away. So, you know, for me, I know that when I cry out for the depths of Almighty Yahweh, I cry out from the depths of inside of me. I see this place that Yahweh has put inside of me, if you will, a hole. I remember as a kid that I was told that there was a hole inside of me that only Yahweh could fill. And I've asked the question in return to Yahweh himself, and it excites me whenever I think about it. Well, Yahweh, if there's a God-shaped hole inside of me that only you can fill, and I know that it says that as above, so below, because your word even says on earth as it is in heaven. So do you have a man-shaped hole inside of you that only I can fill, that only we can fill together? You see, there's a place now. I'm not trying to come up with doctrine. It's just a rhetorical thought. It's a place of looking beyond. Okay, it's a place of looking into the depths, because the depths inside of me, crying out to the depths inside of Yahweh. Deep cries unto deep. We've heard that before. And so this is the place what we're talking about. We're talking about the spirit of wisdom, where wisdom and mem go hand in hand. The fullness of Yahweh's word, because mem can also represent Yahweh's word. It can represent the fullness of his word. It can represent the way that the word help. Matter of fact, it can even represent the place of, in him I live and move and have my being. Look at it from the perspective of a fish. As a fish, everything that the fish needs is found inside of the water. Its oxygen, its breath, its very existence, its ability to be able to move, its shelter is all found inside of the water. Now that in him I live and move and have my being suddenly makes a lot more sense. And so it's in that depths. It's where it's as if the water is sitting inside of the vastness of Yahweh, if you will, the space that Yahweh created inside of himself for us to fill. And I get a chance to go deep into him because of this space, because of this area, because of this place that he created inside of himself for us to fill up. There is so much more that goes along with that. But let me just leave you with that picture. Because, see, that is where Yahweh begins to arc, his breath making manifest his delight. His delight is that we are in him and he is in us. His delight is that we are swimming around inside of the waters of him, inside of the depths of him, the Tehom, the very, very deep of Almighty Yahweh, where we don't just have to swim on the surface. We don't just have to play around on the shores, if you will, but the places where we can actually go deep. Yes, we are made as fish, if you will, inside of the waters of Yahweh, where we can go so deep that we can't even imagine. And the deeper we go, the higher we go. Pastor Parker Thomaston here at Gates of Zion spoke about that quite some time ago, and I want to honor him in that analogy and that perspective of what he was seeing there. You see, it's in that place where Yahweh's breath begins to manifest his delight, framing what he has spoken. And see, it requires us to return that word back to him. Our words also frame. That is the place where we co-create with Yahweh here in the earth. To me, there's almost a scariness and a joy and a delight that come when I say those words. Because if I realize that my words have weight and my words have the ability to create, I want to make sure that I'm creating exactly what Yahweh wants me to create. Do you see what I'm saying? And so there's a soberness, there's a somberness of thinking about this, where Yahweh is making manifest his delight by framing what he has spoken, the place of action where we are the allspark of creation. We are the allspark of Yahweh. We're all one together in each other and in him. You see, when I talk about water, I can't help but talk about John 17. That the very cry of Yeshua himself was, Father, that they may be one, as you and I are one, us in them and them in us. You see, I've also given the analogy of take one drop out of the water, and that one little drop has does that mean it's not a part of the ocean just because it's been separated from the ocean? Or does the very core of what is inside that little drop still a part of the ocean itself? Well, it is. And matter of fact, that little drop is crying out to once again be a part of that vastness, because that's the place where we are all in each other and we are one in him.